somebody after the fact, share how awesome this is, you're more than welcome to do so. Go and share. Everyone can see my screen okay? Yes? All right, cool. Nods are good. Again, if you have questions, you're always welcome to put them in the chat, but you can unmute yourself to ask these questions. And trust me, there are no foolish questions. Promise someone else is thinking the same thing. All right. So once you log in to Supreme Agent One, now this is the desktop version. As I go through, I'm just going to there's Natalie. I'm going to mention like, hey, this is how it looks on the computer. This is what it would look like on your phone. So hopefully it won't get too confusing. It's pretty, they overlap a lot as far as where things are. Obviously on a phone screen, it's a little smaller. So some things that are just displayed here on this screen will be in a menu on the app on your phone. One thing about this that's so great is that it actually is an app on your phone. It's not like a website that you're going to that you're then saving to go back to later. Having an app for this specifically means that it's running at like optimized speed. Download speeds are better. So it's always really great to have the app version of it. But if you wanted to access on desktop, you would just go to this part of it, supremeagentapp.com. That is the desktop version. And when you're setting up your profile with your profile picture and your logo for your company and, all your contact information and everything like that, I highly recommend you do it here on the computer. And where you go for that, let me move this over here. Once you're at supremeagentapp.com and you log in, right here will be either my picture or the picture of the title agent that you've chosen as your rep. And all you have to do is come into your profile, and then that's where you would change everything. So in your profile, you would update your headshot, which I obviously need to do. I mean, that's from 6 years ago. Ugh, I'm one of those now, apparently. So updated headshot, there's where you could put your logo and then all your personal information, your licenses that you have. You can put your website and everything. So that's really great. And then don't forget to go into like account settings and all of that. So that way, awesome. There's Romina. So that way you can set up your like social links and everything. So when you try to share to Facebook directly on here, you have that already connected. Okay. There's just my setup tutorial. Now, let's jump in. Okay, so when you open this website, whether it's on the phone or the computer, it's going to open automatically to the buyer tab. So keep that in mind. I still do it where I open it up and I'm trying to run a seller net sheet and I get halfway through this and I'm like, crap, I'm on the buyer side. So just make sure you switch over to seller. All right, when you are running an estimate, you can put in addresses. It's going to be powered by Google, which is really great. So, does anybody have an address they want me to use as an example for a buyer net sheet? You can put it in the chat, or that would be easiest so I can just look at it for the spelling. If not, I have my own to use as examples. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I'm using my own examples. No worries. All right. So again, powered by Google, all the addresses are going to be accurate. Something that's really cool, especially if you work a lot beachside, is, sorry, I thought it was someone trying to join the class. Um, Something great if you work beachside. Oh, condos. So if you put in the address for a condo building, it'll pop up with the unit numbers so that you can select the correct unit for that condo building. And that's important for things like this, like the tax bill. So once you put in an address, and if it's a condo, you pick the unit, it's going to pull the most recent tax bill, which is so fun. Like you don't have to do any of the work. It's great. So it's going to be based off of the most recent tax bill of 2024. But check this out. Here's our taxes for an Indian Atlantic property. What does this tell us? Because we know Indian Atlantic is not going to be this low at all for a new buyer coming in. This is showing that, okay, so I'll tell you, this is Tracy's house. Tracy's been living in the home for 18 years. So that's her grandfathered tax amount. And it's also based off of her refinance amount. So I'm just going to hit done, but it does give me another suggestion at the end before I run the quote for taxes. So we'll take a look at that in a minute. For the home price, I'm gonna just put in a nice even 500,000. Down payment, you can obviously do a monetary amount or you can do a percentage. I'm just gonna do 20% so we avoid PMI. The interest rate. So if you have this on your phone, make sure to have your automatic updates on for this app because if you don't, these things among many others will not update. So interest rates, like I was just doing this training, I think Thursday last week, and the number was just a shanty different. I think it was 6.575 or something like that. Either way, it updates really, really quickly based off of what, the national interest rate is. Buyer agent commission, 3% paid by the buyer. When you're on the seller side, it does give you both fields for seller and buyer. On the buyer side, it only gives you the field for buyer. And then you can obviously select the different options for who's paying it. So I'll keep it at buyer. Seller concessions, miscellaneous. So, like anywhere that you see a little gear is something that you can click into and get a little more detailed. So, are things that you can add to the buyer's closing costs or subtract from the buyer's closing costs. If you hit the drop downs right here, they have some common items that would be on either side, like a transaction fee or anything like that. On this side, it would be more on the side of like an escrow deposit credit or a seller contribution. If there's items separate from these that you want to type in, go right ahead. You can put the amounts and then you can add as many fields as you need to on both sides. Okay. So then we have our average percentage for insurance, taxes are what we pulled from that home link, right, where it showed the most recent tax bill. HOA, I do know that it's 225 a month. Now, a lot of you do work in Viera Suntree. We are more than aware of what goes on over there because we have our office in Suntree. There are multiple HOAs a lot of the time. We've seen a property with 5 HOAs. So if that happens, my suggestion obviously is to add it all together and make it either an annual average or take that annual average and separate it into quarterly. Closing date. I'm going to push that out by a month. It only matters as far as the prorations on the quote. That's what it's going to adjust when you adjust the closing date. And now I'm going to hit compute. But see, here's what I was talking about with the taxes. So here's our 2024 recorded tax for this low amount that this new buyer is not going to see. They're not going to see an amount that low. But this is an estimated annual property tax based off of the home price, and it says the Cape Canaveral tax rate, but we're in Indialantic. So all I have to do is hit this little drop down, and now it takes me to all the millage rates in all of the cities in the county. I'm going to go right here and I'm going to hit Indialantic, hit done, and now it's based off of Indialantic, which it did bump it up by a couple $1,000s. But what is this quote anyway? It's a preliminary estimate. These are not your client's final numbers. And you're going to let them know that up front because we don't want anybody to be held accountable to these numbers. This is just to give them an idea of what they can expect. And you can tell them that this is going to be the very, very, very highest end of the taxes that they could possibly be. There is no homestead exemption on this. There's nothing. So are their taxes going to be that high? No. But would you rather be a hero or a zero? Think about that. If you quote them too low, and then eventually when they get their final CD, the numbers are higher than what they expected, they're going to come to you and they're going to be like, well, what the heck? You gave me these numbers and they were so much lower than what I'm seeing here. How does that work? Alternatively, if you provide them the higher number, obviously, if you end up saving them money in the long run on that final CD, they're gonna be like, oh my gosh, thanks so much. It's so much lower than I thought it would be. So that's our recommendation. Okay, I'm gonna press done and I am gonna use the higher one for the quote. Just a second. All right, there we are. So this is our just quick estimate page before we actually have a PDF to send to people. So right here, let's say you're actually in the moment with these clients and you're working with these buyers and you run this quote and they're looking at what you're looking at too. They're looking over your shoulder and they're like, Laura, I see what you're getting at here, but honestly, I told you we really can't afford more than $3,900 a month for our monthly payment. That's our cap. We can't afford more than that. And Laura, as this brilliant realtor that you are, you would say, okay, client, no problem. Let's help you get that $3,900 monthly payment. And what you could do is you could press edit right here on this number, and now you can put 3,900, and the whole rest of the quote, when I press done, is going to recalculate around that number to make that work. So, hey, client, yeah, we can get you that $3,900 monthly payment. But what it's going to take is closer to 29% down rather than 20% down. Do you have that flexibility in your liquid funds? No? Oh, okay. Well, if you don't have wiggle room in your monthly payment, you don't have that much to bring to the closing table, maybe we need to reassess the type of home that we're looking at and the price point. What? So now, I mean, look at that. That was like a segue immediately into having that really tough conversation. Like, I'm sorry, guys, maybe you can't afford this home that you love so much, but this isn't the end. This is just a readjustment of the expectations. But now you don't really have to be the bad guy, do you? Because you have this to show them. It's not just lip service saying that they can't afford something. No one wants to hear that. It's going to make you be the bad guy in the situation. But if you show them something like this and they're looking at you working the numbers in real time, how are they going to argue that? The proof's in the pudding right here. So you can always adjust it on the other side too. So if they have less flexibility in their closing fees, but more flexibility in their monthly payment, you can do it the other way. And now check this out. So this button down here, it looks like a phone with some arrows because that's exactly what it is. And if you were working on your phone, you would need to turn your portrait lock off, and then all you would do is turn your phone to the side to get what I'm about to get when I click that button. So you are here and you just turn it to the side. But again, you have to have that portrait lock turned off. So I click this, and now I'm looking at how offer price can affect my payment. So that client that you were working with that said, I'm strictly only able to do 3,900 a month. That's it. But you say, well, client, I understand where you're coming from and I get the lack of flexibility. I understand. However, take a look at this. If you offer 10,000 more dollars, which is so much more of a competitive offer, you're only increasing your monthly payment by $46. That's it. That's like a lunch these days, right? Like a lunch with you and one person. Can you give up one lunch per month to get your dream home? Most people are going to say yes. So this is a tool to help them kind of realign their expectations in the other direction. If they're starting to get scared of this, increase in price, don't worry. This is all we're looking at here. I know the 10,000 seems like a lot, but really in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't affect your monthly payment too much. And you can show them that. And you can actually adjust this so it doesn't have to be $10,000 increments. It can be from 1,000 to 100,000. And you can show it as a monthly payment or this is showing the monthly payment difference. This is showing the actual monthly payments themselves. So instead of plus 46, it just shows the total, right? Just a different way of showing it. And then there's your share button. All right. So that's a cool little tool on there. Are we liking this so far? I'm not getting anything in the chat or any like oohs or ahs because you're muted. So do you like this? Um, Now we're back at the top of the estimate. Oh, yeah, yeah, chat. Good stuff. Thanks, Lisa. Awesome. Thanks, Natalie. Appreciate it. So at the top, now we're back at our estimate. We have a couple things on either side. And again, if we were on our phone, all we would have to do is slide to the left or swipe to the right. That's it. So if we swipe to the left, we can use this modified offer tool. So this is our offer over here. And now this is kind of showing just a different option of an offer. A little bit higher of an offer does increase the monthly payment, but less to bring to the closing table. And they just threw this together, just as an example. Do you have to use what they put together? Absolutely not. You can press edit and you can make adjustments to this modified offer. You can even work alongside your lender if you wanted to on this to get those different options for your client. And then you can use it and send it over. On the other side of the estimate, you have loan details, and this just gives details on the loan that we ran over here, gives that down payment information. It gives a full amortization schedule, which, as you all know, is great for investors, great for engineers, for doctors, for lawyers, all those super smart people who love to see the details on things. So back to our estimate. I am just gonna show you that you can adjust these closing costs. So if you go into detailed closing costs, it does break everything down and shows you all of what you're paying for, including lender fees. It does use defaults on the timeline. So it does use a 14-month default and a 15-day default. So if you press edit, you can adjust those. Okay. 4 months of taxes, you can make it longer or shorter. Same thing with the title fees over here. So if we've negotiated the closing fee with you guys, you can adjust that here. If you know that your client doesn't need a survey, you can take that away right here. You see, and all of these are prorated or fixed costs. Like we know we can't adjust any doc stamps. We can't really adjust the prorated taxes or anything like that. And that's actually turned off right now. So if I wanted to turn that on, I could do that. And then if I press done, it'll start showing up in there. Done, please. There we go. Okay. Oh, okay. Awesome. So I made all my adjustments. I'm ready to go. I think I'm ready to send this to my client. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share print PDF. And now it's taking me to a couple more options. We have templates here, y'all. We have so many templates, and it's great because one of the things on this app that they are so strong with is branding. And I, coming from my marketing and advertising background, I think branding is super, super important, whether it's with colors, with your headshot, with consistency on your PDFs. I think consistency is key personally. And it doesn't have to be the same exact PDF. I just mean the vibe of the PDF. You know, to have a fun one and to have a serious one is great. Just make sure you're kind of catering that to each of the demographics that you're sending it to. But to have something kind of across the board that you use for everybody, it becomes familiar and that's your brand. So let's take a look at these. This one that it defaults to, at least for me, it has my headshot at the top. It's giving all my information up here at the top, and then it does break everything down onto really nice. I have my pie graphs. I have all the breakdown of the information here, and then it even goes on to a second page with more information, and I do have a place to put notes. So if I wanted to, I could pick a different one. This is the one that I usually pick when I'm sending a quote to you guys. If you have requested one from me, because who needs my headshot at the top of your quote? But check this out. So mine right now is in yellow. But if I hit customize, I can change my colors to be my brand. So if I was doing the Supreme Title brand, I would pick red, right? And check this out. So you can also adjust the language, which is really powerful. I mean, there are 14 different languages on here. Some of the most common languages that we do here in the United States and especially in Florida, Spanish, huge one, obviously. French, when we have a lot of those French Canadians coming, those snowbirds. We have a huge Korean population coming here, Vietnamese. You got Hindi and Punjabi. There are a lot of options on here. And to be able to provide a quote to somebody in their own language is very powerful. Really, really powerful. So I could adjust that and it would change here. I'll do an example for you. Vietnamese, check this out. Does it in like 5 seconds. Maybe a little longer. Has to go to outer space, and then come back. All right, Robert, read that for me. Anyway, you see my point. It took me just a few seconds to put that together, and now I could provide a quote to my clients who from Vietnam in their own language, which makes them feel so comfortable, right? So like they feel that they picked the right person, someone who gets them. Yeah, I think so. Love that you love this. Romina, right? Powerful. Romina, is there a language on here that you would be able to use, like Russian or Polish? Like, would that be A like,
Yes, Russian.
okay, perfect. I had a feeling, but I didn't want to assume.
I wish she had Romanian too, but that's
I
okay, I
know.
guess.
I do too, because I am Romanian myself as well. So, but you have all these great options. I'm gonna change it back to English, or the next time I run a quote, I'm gonna be real confused. So let me update that. All right, back to English. Awesome. So on the buyer tab and on the premium tab, you have home reports. And I said that slowly because these home reports are really, really valuable, and I want to make sure you know where to find them. Only on the buyer tab after you run an estimate, and on the premium tab in standard infographics. And we will go over that later. I just want to say it now for the sake of the recording. Okay. These home reports are fantastic. They put together all this incredible information about the neighborhood all by itself, just based off the address. Where's the gym, Starbucks, restaurants, hospitals, schools with the ratings, internet speed comparisons, walking score, sound score. And this is just one example of one. They have different ones that are catered to different demographics. Like this one is very family oriented. Hold on, our receptionist is calling me and she never calls me. Let me just text her that I'll call her back. Hi Betty, I'm hosting a class right now. I'll call you back in like about half an hour, okay? Okay. Okay. I'll call you. Bye. Sorry. All right. So you see, like this one's catered to families, to children, right? It has all the schools and everything. It even has an icon of a family on there. This one, for me, much more catered to a professional client, someone who likes to see organization, cleanliness, so not too busy, very professional looking, and it has the information displayed a little bit differently. So I love these home reports. And with all the trainings that I've done on this, I've gotten a lot of inspiration from realtors of how to use these. I mean, the obvious one is sending it to out-of-town buyers, right, who are unfamiliar with the area. But what about printing these out and making them part of your listing presentation? Just to show a seller, hey, I am a realtor that goes that extra step. I have this extra information for you and for potential clients that are moving here. You could print them out and bring them to open houses. So then people walking in off the street who, again, are unfamiliar with the area, they have a little bit of a reference point. So there's a lot of different things you can do with these. You can even use this social share button and use this for one of your own listings and social share it to your Facebook, Instagram, what have you. If you're ready to send something, whether it's the home report or the estimate, you can email directly through the app. So you can put your client's emails in right here. Your email will automatically be CC'd right there. Excuse me. You get a summary of the numbers in the body of the email, and you will get the full PDF attached. The one caveat to this is that when the email comes into your clients, it comes in from Palm Agent. So it doesn't show that it comes in from your email. So if that's a problem for you, no big deal. Just download it as a PDF and send it through your own email server. That's the solution. You can print and then you can save the estimate for later. I highly recommend you do this with every estimate, even if you don't think that you need to go back to it. It's a just in case thing, so you don't have to run it again. You can always go back and delete them later. When you have a saved estimate, that's going to be up here in the estimates tab. That's where they save. If you're on your phone, just open the hamburger menu. That's the three lines, and it'll be in that menu, this estimates tab. All right. Do we have any questions right now before I move on to seller and the rest of everything? Yes, Lisa. I love that you love the open house idea. Okay, awesome. So seller side. I'm gonna run this through this just a little more quickly since we've already seen a lot of this. Okay, hold on, I hear background noise. Who didn't mute themselves? Robert. All right. I muted him. All right, seller. I'm sorry. I'm like a terrible multitasker, so if I hear outside noise, it will like totally throw me off. It's not you, it's me. So I'm gonna add my address. I am just gonna use Tracy's address again. Okay, there it is. And I like using her address because I know her payoff information and stuff, so I can kind of speak into it a little bit. So here's our tax pop up again, but watch what happens on the seller side that we didn't have on the buyer side. Now it's asking me for an interest rate. So on this side, it's showing a loan recorded in November of 2021 for this amount. Please enter the interest rate below. What if I didn't know Tracy's interest rate? What if I didn't know that this lucky, lucky girl had an interest rate of 2.5%? And I thought I was lucky with my 2.9. But if I didn't know it, it does give the average for that month and year. So I could assume, hey, she has a 2.9, or I could even round it up to 3 if I wanted to be safe. And it would be close enough, right? Between 2.5 and 3. Definitely close enough to get me an accurate enough number to give her an idea of her net. So if I compute this, this is going to be the final amount. Now, if Tracy was sitting across from me, I would be like, hey, Tracy, what's your actual payoff? And she would say, well, Rose, it's about, and really it is about what did she say? Like 230-ish, right? Like 225, 230. And the reason it's showing such a discrepancy is because it's assuming a 30-year fixed loan and it's assuming regular payments. Tracy's on a 15-year loan and she was making extra payments for the first 8 months of the refinance, after the refinance. So if I wanted to, I could come into the gear right here and I could enter my data manually. Okay. But for the sake of our estimate, I do feel that it's close enough and I could always even edit it. See, I could even say, here's my 15-year term, loan start date is good, interest rate's good. Now, compute. And now I think that's actually closer to what it is. And now we have a much more accurate number just because I changed it to a 15-year term. All right. So I am going to use that for the estimate, but that's how you can make those adjustments and really get into the nitty gritty. And a lot of the time, you know this, your clients won't know their payoff. Your clients won't know their interest rate. If you're able to give them a rough idea, it's going to really help things along for sure. So sales price, I'm going to keep it at that 500,000 just to make things nice and even. Remember, I said we do have both of the fees on either side, on the seller side, and you can actually change this. So instead of the broker fee, it could be finder's fee, seller concessions, et cetera, et cetera. And then you can say if the buyer fee is going to be paid seller, buyer, or split. Concessions, we do on this side have a field for repairs. If your client is fine with having just an arbitrary amount for all the repairs, that's fine. If you have a client that likes to see a little bit more detailed information and wants more of an itemized list of what those repairs are, just to remind them, I would recommend going into miscellaneous and adding them here as separate items. So you could say septic repair 3,000, roof repair 6,000, et cetera, et cetera. So that just makes it itemized rather than having like a arbitrary $11,000 repair amount where it's just repairs. HOA, we know we're at 225 a month. We have our loan balance in there, our interest rates in there. The closing date is already pushed out by a month, so we're good to go. Reissue rate or reissue credit, very easy. If you sell the home within 3 years of the purchase, you get a discount on your title policy. It has to be 3 years to the day. So I'll say it again. If you sell the home within 3 years of the purchase, you get a discount on your title policy. Okay, so compute. And now we have our net. But I'm Tracy's real estate agent, right? I forgot what you're called for a second. I'm Tracy's real estate agent. And she told me that she needs to net, has to net 260. That's her number. That's the magic number is 260. So again, I could press edit right here and I could say 260. All right, press done. And now the rest of the quote is going to recalculate. Really, the one thing that changes the most is going to be the sales price. Now, I'm the realtor that suggested she does She lists it at 500,000. Now it's showing if I want to get her the 260, I would have to list it more at like 510. Doesn't seem too bad. Maybe the comps could support that. I saw one for like 505. I saw one for like, 508. I could push it. She did a lot of upgrades inside. Let's see how it goes. But let's say instead of 260, Tracy had said to me that she needs to net 300. Have to. This is my number. Got to net 300. How many times have you all gotten that? Have to net this amount, okay? Because my house is worth $1 million. It should be easy, right? So now our sales price is all the way up to 554. And I know as the realtor that the comps are just not supporting that. The area does not support this. No matter how many upgrades you do in the house, even if you like whatever you have to add, new roof, all that kind of craziness, it's not going to do it. So instead of having to just tell Tracy that and give her all this bad news verbally from my mouth, unfortunately, I can now show it to her. I can work these numbers there with her in the moment and say, hey, Tracy, like I know that 300 was the magic number and you really wanted to get that for this home. Right now, in this market, based off of the comparisons and based off of everything else that I know as a professional, we're not going to get that number. And all that's going to do, if we try to list it at 550, it's going to end up just sitting on the market. But then Tracy says to me, but that's fine. That's fine. I don't care if it sits. What's wrong with it sitting? Let it sit. Because then maybe someone will buy it for that amount. I want it to sit. What if she says that? I'll show you what happens if she says that. So let's say someone does want to hold on to the house. They don't care. You flip over, and again, if you're on your phone, you would just swipe to the right. Holding costs. And I know when I was trying to get all of you into this app training, I know I mentioned this to you because this holding cost tool is so freaking powerful. The longer your house is on the market, the more it costs you. So now, Tracy, are you sure you want to let the house sit? This is just showing a 1 to 4 month timeline. What if I change days to months? Now, instead of 1 to 4 months, it's showing 3 to 12 months. And really, Tracy, at this price that you're insisting on so high, we're looking at probably sitting for a good 3 to 6 months. Oh, but wait, this is only including insurance, interest, HOA, and taxes. Where's the principal? Where's lawn care? If she, well, obviously HOA would probably cover that, but if she didn't have an HOA and it's another home, and what about lawn care? What about pool care? What about the monthly cleaning service that she hires? What about utilities and water? All of these monthly recurring expenses that she has every single month need to be added here because that's going to make this number skyrocket. And then she's going to see, holy moly, I'm going to be spending how much in 6 months? Okay, I changed my mind. I'd rather make a little bit less money now than have to spend all that money and then end up having to list it for a lower amount in the long run because you're going to let them know that. Are all your jaws on the floor right now? Are you like shooketh? Are you all shocked that you have this tool available to you to really help realign these sellers' expectations? What if they're just like, oh my, you're in a listing appointment, Lisa, and they're like, oh my God, Lisa, I love you so much. I definitely want to work with you. You're great. But we really need to repaint the guest bathroom and do some landscaping outside. We'll call you in about 3 months. Cool? No, you show them why that's not cool. I hope you're all super giddy about this the way that I am because I love this tool. Now, that was on the right side of the net sheet. If we go to the left side of the net sheet, swipe to the left, you get multiple offers. So this is a multiple offers tool to list out offers to then send to your seller. You scroll down and you can add as many new offers as you want to. Let's say you have 5 offers, but 1 or 2 of them are going to get your clients exactly what they're looking for. You can put a star next to the 1 or 2 that you love the most, or not that you love, but the ones that you know are going to get them what they need. Okay. And when you go into details, I mean, it gives you everything. Escalation clauses, buyer agent name, miscellaneous, contingencies, notes, et cetera, et cetera. The EMD. Home warranty. You can even go into closing costs up here. So once you're ready, you can always share or print the PDF to your clients after you've listed all those offers. All right, so back at the net sheet. All right, let's say that I was ready to send this over, and we have the same options here in detailed closing costs. I can make those adjustments to the closing costs or the prepaids. This button, where we know if we turn our phone to the side, that's how we get this one. My opinion, it doesn't really carry as much oomph as on the buyer side because, yeah, if you accept an offer 10,000 more, you're going to net about 10,000 more, right? I feel like kind of a no-brainer. But if you find value from it, great. Don't let me stop you. You can still share that PDF right here. So ready to share. I'm going to do that. Now, on the seller side, we don't have the home reports. Remember, those home reports with all that neighborhood information only on the buyer tab and on the premium tab. So on the seller side, we still do have a lot of template options, just not those. These are just going to be templates for the net sheets themselves. Okay, so I have all the templates for that. And then I do still have the ability to customize with the language, with the colors, with everything like that. All right. Before I move on, because we're done with quoting, we're going to move on to the marketing side now. Do we have any questions on this side of things?
I do.
No, we're all good.
Yeah, I have one.
Oh, you do? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So, for example, in case that I need to add like the case that I have right now, that they have a forbearance and also have can you hear me well?
Yes, it's just a little bit fuzzy. So if you could just
Okay.
slow down just a little bit, I'm just trying to make sure I hear everything.
What about now?
That's better.
Awesome. It's not working the Bluetooth. Okay. So what if I have like a solar panels that I need to add or a forbearance that I need to add? I add them on the miscellaneous
I
section.
probably would do that. I would add them to the miscellaneous because you can go on either side of it,
Okay.
right? So you can add it to the seller's closing costs that they have to pay off the
Okay.
solar panels, right?
Perfect.
Um, and then on multiple offers, that would be the offer obviously on the buyer side. So
Yeah.
if you wanted to in that side of things on details, you can there's miscellaneous again. So even in the offers, you can put in there that you have to add that to the seller's closing costs.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
Of course, of course. Anybody else have questions? Are we good to go? Ready to rumble? All right, ready to rumble. So before we go into the premium tab, which is all the marketing stuff, I just want to just show you the calculators tab. Okay. Now this calculators tab, we haven't really talked about the premium subscription of this app. So let's lean back for a second. I'll let you absorb that buyer seller information. Let's talk about that for a minute. So, premium on this app, they made it as inexpensive as they possibly could. It is a whopping $10 for the entire year, not per month, for the year. So again, they made it really inexpensive. They had to legally charge something. And I say they because that $10 does not come to Supreme Title. It goes to the app developers, this Palm Agent one. And I highly recommend you get it because it gets you all the personal branding. So everything that we just saw on those templates when I went to export, my headshot, my contact information, my logo, all of that is filled in there because of the premium. Um, you get all of the template options with premium, including the home reports. Okay. And you get access to more calculators. So you get access to all 22 of these calculators, as well as access to the premium side, which is all the marketing material that is going to blow you away in just a second. So for $10 for the year, you're really getting a steal because what you're getting from that $10 for the whole year is incredible and definitely worth it. And if you're hesitating on paying that $10, I'm more than happy to send you a $10 Amazon gift card to reimburse you because you took the time to come to my training today. All right. So please message me after this, and with your phone number, and I will, yes, Natalie, and I will send you guys a $10 Amazon gift card as a thank you. All right, so you have so many different options for calculators on here, and I highly suggest and recommend and encourage you to get your lenders on here. We love lenders, right? We work with so many of them, and I'll tell you right now, like there's a hot handful that use this app because they love the tools on there so much. You have buy now or buy later, comparing lower rates. And this is also a rate comparison then versus now, showing the timeline of interest rates and how they've compared over time. Yes. Concession cheat sheets, buy down calculators. They actually have 2-to-1 buy down and 3-2-to-1 buy down. Monthly affordability, equity review. If you just want the closing fees from Supreme Title and nothing else, you can come right in here and all you need is very basic information. I mean, on the seller side, you need even less, right? So that one's easy peasy. Compensation calculator, that's a newer one. See, they even label it as new. Home equity calculator, flip calculator. There is the multiple offers tool. So you don't have to run a full seller net sheet to get the multiple offers tool. You can just come right here and start listing out those offers. Extra payment calculators, compare, smart compare. And I want to just touch on what this iBuyer is. The concept is really getting popular here in Brevard. It's been in Tampa, been in Orlando, been in Miami for a while, but now it's starting to trickle into here. It's the Redfin, Opendoor, Zillow. It's that online representation that someone would sell their house with an online seller, as opposed to with a realtor. And this is to show the cost and net of what they would be getting and giving if they were to work with an iBuyer versus working with a real estate agent. So that's a valuable tool. And then this is iBuyer multiple offers. I think I saw something in the chat. So hold on. Yes, Robert. And yes, Natalie. And yes, Robert, get that premium. You do get 30 days free trial of the premium. And you can always try it out in those 30 days. If you don't use it, which I'd be shocked, then you can cancel it. But for $10 for the year, it's really worth it. All right, so you see all of what's available here. We don't have time to go over all of them. That would take forever. But if you have questions as you're using this, I'm going to put my cell phone number. Most of you already have it, but if you don't, that's not it. That's my cell phone number. You're welcome to lock me in, text me, call me anytime. I don't have children or anything. You're not bothering me, promise. After hours, on weekends, it's all good. I can even run quotes for you if you want, if you need some help. All right, so there's that estimates tab where all our saved estimates are. Now let's go into premium. My favorite. I love that like my dog has refused to gnaw on her bone for a good 48 hours. And now, of course, she starts chewing on it as I'm teaching. I hope you can't hear it. I've just been assuming you can't, but I really hope you can't. All right, so this is the premium side. And on the premium side, you have content, so much content. And I know a lot of you have really been trying to focus on Canva. And Canva's great. I'm not going to say Canva's not great. But Canva can sometimes be overwhelming. It's a lot to learn. It takes a long time. That's for me where my holdup is with Canva. I love it and I understand it and I know how to use it. But truthfully, like I get really caught up in the details of what I'm creating and I end up sitting in front of a design and doing something with it for like almost 2 hours sometimes. And I'm like, and I look up and I look at the time and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I just spent all this time doing this for what? Like for one piece of content, it's crazy. So instead, for most of the content, instead of going on Canva, just go here. It's already made for you. There's only a few little things that you'll have to make on Canva if you use something like this instead. So the reason I keep coming back over here, I want to show you the monthly marketing package. So at the beginning of every month, now it is the 11th and I've been on here already. That's why it didn't pop up. But the first time you come onto the premium side, every month, it'll pop this up, right? Like this, a monthly marketing package. And it's going to show you latest marketing package that has everything you need to engage clients and boost your real estate business. So when they come out with their monthly marketing package, they're not just slapping stuff against the wall. They're really, really thoughtful about where they get their information from. It's all from NAR. It's all from Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae. All of it. Like, I mean, it's all coming from the most reputable of sources. So you never have to worry about the information. If it's accurate, if it's relevant, it's going to be guaranteed. And what they give you in this monthly marketing package is 4 posts. So you get 4 suggestions of what to post based off of the new content that they're putting out. Strategically navigating today's market. Look at that. It's a graphic, but it has information to put that pushes forward into this. So it's not just this one page. You get to, we'll look at it. You get to see like the multiple pages that it comes with. So that's one. Then get to know your home. There's that home report. That's a new one that they came out with. I like that. It looks nice. Just listed filter. So this is just giving a preview of what it would look like on someone's Facebook page. And this is showing a just listed filter. So this is the photo that Hannah put in, put in this frame. And we're going to look at that in a minute too. The frames are incredible. And again, it's like saving you all that time that you would have used to make something like that on Canva. It's already made for you. So you have this, the just listed filter. Then versus now, days on the market. And that's the monthly marketing package. So if you have no creativity, if you have no time to comb through things and pick out what you want from the marketing page, use the monthly marketing package. Just use it. Because at the very least, you get 4 posts. That's 1 post per week. And it keeps you relevant for the month. And then next month, just work a little bit harder to get more posts out. But at the very least, do this. I mean, it takes 5 seconds. Because all you need to do is download these things and schedule them on your Facebook Meta Business Suite. We're all very smart in this meeting. Do we all know Meta Business Suite from your Facebook business page? That is where you go to look at all of the business analytics really on your page. You know, if you're posting things, are you looking at the insights on the back end? You know, how many people are looking at it versus liking it versus sharing it versus saving it? Because those things are important. If you're posting things that are getting no play and barely even any views, why are you still posting those things? You need to pivot. You need to post something different because your audience is not picking up what you're putting down. So this is a way to keep things fresh as well. Let's keep going because I can go into my recommendations of how to market your business all freaking day. All right, so standard infographics versus swipeable infographics. 2 categories for the same thing, and I'll show you why. So let's go into standard infographics first. I'm going to see all. At the top of every category, they let you shape it to whatever you're using it for, which is great. So you know if you hit the Facebook post one, it'll always fit and nothing will get cut off. Same thing with the Instagram story and Facebook story. They are the same shape. All it is meant to fill up your phone screen, right? That's the shape of stories. This standard one is great for email, but it's also good for Facebook because really the only thing that will get cut off in the Facebook post is that banner at the bottom with your contact info. Now, if you have Facebook post available, why would you stay with standard, right? Because standard has those home reports and the rest of the shapes do not. So those neighborhood reports are only available, I'm going to say it again because it's just important, are only available in the buyer tab after we run an estimate and in the premium tab under standard infographics. And you have to keep it standard to see those options. Cool. So here we have this one that it's a brand new one that they just came out with. I love this because it gives details on the home itself as well as the neighborhood. It kind of like combines both, which I think is so cool. They've never had one like this before. Really nice. All you have to do right here is add an address and then all of this will, you know, reset to the actual information. And then when you're ready to post this or, you know, export it, whatever you're going to do with it, you have a suggested caption and hashtags. Don't even have to write anything. although ChatGPT is a great way to go. You could even copy and paste this into ChatGPT. And if ChatGPT knows you well enough by now, you can say, hey, rewrite this caption from my voice and make sure it sounds like it's coming from a social media expert. That's a great way to prompt ChatGPT to write something in your voice. So you can do that. And then when you share it, you can share it like you can download it. You can share it to Facebook. You can schedule it on Facebook. And if you hit this one, it is going to take you to your Meta Business Suite. But again, you have to have set that up in your profile and everything beforehand to make sure it just jumps right over there. Excuse me. If you are going to download it to post later on social media, make sure you download it as an image and not a PDF. You cannot post PDFs to social media. You can only post images. So make sure you get that one. Okay, I'm gonna come back out of here. And I just want to show you one thing. So we've been looking at these home reports, and a lot of them have school information, right? But remember, we love to be able to talk to our demographic. Now, I am a very different demographic. I don't have children. I am a millennial that bought a home for my dog, as we know is very popular these days. And I'm one of them. So, would you want to send a home report to me that has school information on it? I don't want to see that. No. But would you send something like that to someone like me? A pet-friendly home report? Something that tells me everything I need to know to take care of my beautiful girl over here? Yes. This is what I want to see. I don't want to see school information. I don't care about that. I care about this. Where can I take my dog? What parks? What stores? Grooming, boarding. So this is a great one. Again, they just have everything on here that you would need to tailor it to whoever you're sending it to. Any demographic that you're working with, they got it. All right, so let's go back out from standard infographics to swipeable infographics. So the standard are going to be one page, and we were looking at that. So here's the buy down or buy later. Here's buy down or buy later. A lot of them are going to overlap. And the reason being is because this one has everything on one page, but this one kind of separates into a couple of pages, and I'll show you why. So when in doubt, you can always see that there's like a little icon and it looks like multiple pages. That is what it's showing. But when I see all, now it defaulted to a Facebook post. But my opinion is that swipeable infographics are perfect for your stories. So I'm going to shape it to my story. And again, it doesn't matter. Even if you're going to put it on Facebook story, you can still choose Instagram story as the shape. They are the same exact shape. And these two are the same exact shape. Okay, so no worries on that. But here's our buy down or buy later, where before on the standard infographic, we had it on one page. And yes, some of them you do actually have to plug in information. So I'm just going to do some quick stuff, compute, no big deal. And now here we go. So I still have that graph on one page, that chart, no graph. We still have this chart on one page, but now on the second page, I have a little bit of extra information do you see why it's great for stories? Because with stories, you're tapping through photos, you're tapping through information. So you're on this one, and then a person would tap, and then they still have information to look at regarding this topic. It's great. You have great breakdown of information on the caption here. So that's just one example. We were looking at this one too. This is a brand new one, right? It was in the monthly marketing package. So this one, it actually extends everything even more because we have a 1, a 2, a 3, we have a tip, we have an extra page, and then I'll show you what's at the end. So let's think about this as if it was on a story. You know, you post all of these different photos and people are tapping through them, really getting a lot of valuable information provided by this professional realtor that they follow. We love that. So 3 ways to successfully achieve. And I don't know if you all noticed, it branded me for the red. It branded my red color on here because that's my brand. If I wanted to, I could edit that and change the color, but I'm going to keep it. So by understanding mortgage rates, shopping strategically, et cetera, et cetera. Everything that they put on here is so easy to understand, even for the layman. Like, you don't have to be a professional realtor to get this stuff. Number one, home values keep rising. Number two, interest rates. Number three, household income. Then you have a pro tip. We love a good pro tip. And then at the very end, what? But with your profile fully set up, that would be you. That would be your headshot and your information. And that's the final page of your story on this. You have a call to action, a contact me kind of page, and you can even write that on there. So this is kind of blank. A lot of them will have an arrow that says message me, and it points directly to where the message me button would be on your stories. Let's talk about all this negative space for just a second. I just like to give you inspiration on like how you could maybe approach these things and why I feel like they're great for stories. So all of this information is kind of condensed into the middle, but on your stories, Facebook and Instagram wants you to use stories like features, like the different features that you can use, like stickers. They call them engagement stickers. So like the little dancing people, they're called GIFs, right? You can use GIFs, kind of like make some movement on the page. You can use a poll, a quiz, that emoji slide bar that you can put on there, music, links, all kinds of stuff. And even on the higher level, you can use this as a green screen behind you, and you could be down there pointing to it and talking about it as it's displaying behind you. That's some advanced maneuvers right there, though. So what, like, use the negative space. That's what it's there for, to give you space to put engagement stickers on your stories because they love that on Facebook and Instagram. All right, so we have a lot of different options in here. As you scroll down, make sure you're really reading what you're posting. They try to like take things off of here that aren't relevant anymore, but sometimes they'll keep it on for a little longer. Just read it. The lower you go, the older the posts, and we just want to make sure they're still relevant. That's all. So we had our two categories for infographics that we just went through. So that's like the really information heavy kind of posts that you can pull from here. And I know it's 11 o'clock and you guys got to go, but I have just a couple more categories and we roll through this really quickly, I promise. So filters, this is photo filters, and you can see they just put new ones for St. Patrick's Day. So you can go on here. A good realtor is like a lucky charm. Oh my God, so cute. I love these. May your home always be filled with love and a whole lot of luck. Irish blessing for everybody. Let's go find your pot of gold home. Get out of here. They're so cute. I love them. And then these dynamic ones though. So these are kitschy, these are fun for the holidays, and they update them all the time based off the holidays coming up. But this dynamic category is going to be the money maker. This is where it's at, and this is like basically the replacement for Canva, is just in this one category. So in this dynamic one, this is what we saw in the monthly marketing package, right? So all the person did was upload a file. So you can upload one in here. Like I'm going to show you in a second. Hold on. I got plenty of home photos. All right. Keep in mind though, what the frame looks like. So I have a bar along the top and I have a bar along the side. So if I want this home to be in the middle over here and not cut off by these other things, I want to make sure I do that appropriately. So I'm going to pull this up and over like that. And then I hit crop, and now it's way more centered than it would have been. If I had kept it centered in the crop, the house would have been over here and partially cut off by my right side. Does that make sense? So you just want to make sure you're mindful of the type of frame that you have around it. So I could do it this way where I upload a file later into my frame. Or if you're in the moment on your phone, you can actually open the filter and take the photo directly with the filter already on it. Like it'll have your camera open and you take it. So you have both options, both are great. When you're ready to, obviously customize this, I would love to have a $10,000 list or $10 million listing. That would be amazing. But I can customize this and adjust all of these obviously the information and everything. I can decide if I want to have my logo on there. Great. All it's going to do is got it. Okay, got it. So it's up here. I'm just going to, pull it down where I want it. Whatever you want to do. You have but again, it's like Canva without all the work. So you have this one. You have one for open houses, right? So check that out though, because I had already cropped it over here. Now the whole thing's cut off. I would have to kind of redo it. No big deal. You just re-upload the file, recrop it, and pull it over to the right side instead of the left. Then for my open house information, when I hit customize, I have property address and the time that it starts and everything like that. My profile information would be in there. And then of course I can always add my logo or not. So these dynamic ones, you're getting the idea, I hope, that they have all of this really like rich, valuable information. And what is the value of that? And really think about what you have as far as grabbing people's attention online. Did you know you have 3 seconds? I put two fingers up. That's hilarious. Did you know you have 3 seconds? That's it. 3 seconds to capture and keep somebody's attention. Do you think that's going to happen? Do you think you're going to capture and keep someone's attention if you just post a photo of a home and put all the information in the caption? Do you think that's going to have impact? Do you think that's going to make people stop scrolling? It's a big fat no. That is a big fat negatory, Ghost Rider. Absolutely not. What you need instead is something to grab people's attention on the photo. That's what people want these days. There's so much information. Think about how you scroll. It's all really quick, and the only things that really grab your attention are things that look different. So to have a photo of the front of the home now with the information plastered there on the photo, even if it's just the simple stuff like this, like the bed, bath, and square footage. That's all I have on here. It's nothing crazy, but it's just enough to make somebody stop and look. And then when someone stops and looks and they see how beautiful the home is, they see that the specs make sense for their buyer or themselves or whoever it is looking, then they'll read the caption where you have more detailed information. Do you get that? Like, does that make sense as far as the value of why you want something on the photo versus just in the caption? People scroll past that all day, every day, and they're going to continue to do that. But if you post something like this, they're going to stop, or they're at least more likely to. So you have dynamic. You won't have these rep filters. That's for us on our end. You have closing filters. So when you close a Supreme title, which I hope you do in the near future, we always encourage you to take photos with your clients at the end of the closing. And you can always just come right here, put this nice frame around it, and post it to your socials. Tag your clients in there. Said yes to the address. Cute. Proud new homeowners. Congratulations. In escrow. We love it. Listing category. So I love this one. Happiness is homemade. Makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. Open house category. So we saw some of the open house ones on the dynamic side. This is just a whole category for the open house ones. Hashtag realtor life. I mean, you have so many different ones. Master of multiple offers. Lisa, Elizabeth, Laura, I want a selfie with queen of multiple offers right here. I'm expecting it, okay? And then the bottom, you have seasonal. That's going to be your holiday kind of filters. So that's there at the bottom. All right, two more categories, and I'm going to let you guys go. So, and these are really valuable, so don't go anywhere. Personalized videos. So these personalized videos, you see there's probably the least amount of content in here in any category. And that's because these take a minute to create. They have to animate the entire thing. And they have to put them on here, and they have to make sure it's relevant to the market and everything. So just use these though, because they're great. And there's enough here to kind of actually carry you through the year if you really think about it, for the most part. So they have it standard as far as a landscape ratio, but you can make it a story because we all love to watch videos on stories. Again, that's just my opinion. And now I just want to go back to standard to show you how it looks when you go through it. So let's do seller concession. It's a 30-second video. None of them are really longer than a minute and a half. So they're really short, easy to digest. repairs, et cetera, et cetera. They can be really helpful in today's market, all that. 30-second video, nothing crazy. But that's at the end of every single video. My face, my name, my contact information. And that, again, would be yours when you set up your profile. Think about that. This looks like you spent hundreds of dollars with a marketing company to create this for you, but you just got it for pennies on the dollar because you paid $10 a year for this premium. I mean, it's like a no-brainer, right? To me, it is. So I love these personalized videos. I think they're great. And I love kind of using it as like a series of information. So you could always take the infographic first or the video first and then follow it up with the other, just to say, hey, if you missed my last post, it's expanding on this concept of seller concessions or whatever you wanted to do. Last category, and this one's huge. They say shareable calculators. Do you know what this category used to be called? Lead generating calculators, because that's exactly what they are. I think legally they had to change the name of it, but they are lead generating calculators. So it's showing you how to do it. Great. I know what I'm doing. I don't need that. These are your shareable calculators. So I'm going to go into equity review because we all want seller, right? Seller leads, listing leads. Now, this is showing you what it would look like on your Facebook, right? And it's also showing different options for the cover photo. I happen to love this one. I think it's gorgeous, but you could always choose the house, and then that's what it would look like. You could have a little bit of wheat. Why not? But I think this one's great. Kind of looks like a Florida sunset anyway. And now you can try it out. So this is going to give you the opportunity to try out the calculator that your client, potential clients would be seeing on your page. So I'm going to try it out. And this is what it is. So when your client, potential client, your lead clicks on the link, this is the first thing they would see. Purchase price. Give us a few details about when you bought your home. Okay, I bought my home for 500,000. Nah, just kidding. I bought my home for 400,000. I don't know why, just for the heck of it. Down payment, I paid, I put $180,000 down. Great. My loan balance right now, man, I don't know, like 250, I guess. Oh, not that. I guess maybe. I don't know. I'm a seller. I don't really pay attention to that stuff. Next. Oh, how much I think my house is worth today? Oh, $1 million without a doubt. Totally $1 million. I hope you guys are okay with me being just a little goofy when I do these things. All right, next. So this is the third step. That first step was giving history of the home. Second step, what do you think your house is worth? Now, third step, do you want a more accurate estimate? Allow me to pull some information. They get to put in their home address and their email address, and now you just captured a lead. Hmm? Hmm? Do we like? So really that's it. You have all these different calculators you can put on there, and just like in every category, when you share them, it does kind of size it. Like this is the one category that doesn't have the sizing at the top, and that is because whenever you share it, it is going to just automatically kind of shape itself because it's a link. So anyway, I get that question sometimes, so wanted to address it up front. Do we have any questions? You can all unmute yourself and tell me how much you love this and all of that. Laura, I saw you said, how can you edit the colors here? Did you mean when I was doing this one and it was red?
Yes.
Okay. So I have my brand color set up to red. And since this is a new post, bear with me because this is actually the first time I'm seeing it. So hold on just a second. So it should be an edit profile. No. And honestly, it might have pulled the red just based off of the color of my logo. This is the first time I've seen them have a post that kind of
Change.
populates the color automatically. If there's a way to change it, there's not a customize button on here. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna ask our account rep if there's a way to change it, and I'll let you know. Again, this is my first time seeing it, so I can only go by what I've seen before and what
But
I've
this is amazing. I mean, this is very cool.
yeah.
Like
Yay.
I am not good posting because it's like I am not good with words. My husband is the one that is perfect with it. But
Yes.
I think this is amazing. This is very helpful.
I'm so
Really
glad you think so.
super
And
cool.
you know what? Like, again, I gave you my cell phone number. Like, you're always welcome to ask me questions and call me and text me, whatever. But there is a chat right here. So if you have questions, they're open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. They have great hours. Um, so if you wanted to ask them questions directly, you can always do that as well. They're really responsive and very kind. And I will say, you guys are all super professional people and obviously realtors. So if you have suggestions on how to make this better, like something even on the quoting side, on the premium, like the marketing side, wherever, if you feel that there's an improvement that can be made, please let me know. They are so great about taking our recommendations and making them happen because they don't work in the industry. They're just going by, what they can see. So when they get direct feedback like that, they really value that and they really put it into practice. So if you have any suggestions, please let me know. How do we all feel? I'm loving the feedback from Laura. Ramina, talk to me.
This is
Robert,
awesome.
Lisa.
It's awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Oh, yay. Hold on, I'm gonna stop sharing so I can see you guys. Okay. Sean, was it a lot?
Yes, it's really good. You saved the best for last. I like the lead generation part of it because right there, if you can generate a lead, it's totally worth the price, And I do need a new mic from Amazon, so I could probably take you up on that $10 Amazon offer too.
Okay. No problem. It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure.
Yeah.
Hey, I
Course,
think
yeah.
I think it's pretty amazing to have so many tools on one app. It's pretty neat to have all that available.
Does it seem like something you can really like wrap your head around and like use a lot, or did it
Yeah, I
good,
think
good.
so. Yeah, I really think so.
Love
Definitely.
that. I can't wait to tell Tracy. She was so excited to have you in the class.
Okay. I can tell you guys hang around each other a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm basically